Welcome all, I'm Chandra from Rekindle Wellness. I'm just in my tiny yoga space that I have, but I wanted to do a video for this core and stretch. You can use it any time of the year, but I know before Christmas sometimes we know we're going to be eating plenty, we maybe drink a little bit more, we become a bit more indulgent. It's that time of year for a treat. So this short video will involve some stretching so that we kind of, even if we are feeling a bit sort of lazy, slothy, we can stretch out our bodies, which feels good. And it's going to involve some core work as well, so it can feel like you're toning up a little bit. I'm also going to do another short video for digestion as well, which will be great for after Christmas when you're feeling a little bit bloated and sluggish. So here we go. Right, so I'd like to start us off with a really great breathing practice that's automatically will tone your tummy at the same time. Now you want to be doing this practice on a fairly empty stomach. So if you've had a light snack, it's okay, but you don't really want to do this after a big meal, okay? Hopefully you wouldn't practice yoga after a big meal. And with this one as well, if you have any breathing conditions, any illnesses that affect your breathing, or asthma, anything like that, heart conditions, then avoid this perhaps and just do some nice big deep breaths into the belly and out. So I'll guide you through it. We'll do a couple of rounds of 20 pumps, and basically we breathe in and out fully for the first breath, and then in fully for the second breath, and then after that you don't even really notice the inhale. It's a very small thing. All we focus on is a sharp pulling in of the belly as we exhale out the nose. So the breath's coming in and out of the nose the whole way through this practice, but you're really focusing on that sharp pull in of the tummy, and you'll feel your body will pull in like that. So your body will move. That's quite natural with this. Okay, so let's all take a big breath in together, and then a full exhale. Inhale fully again, and exhale. Here we go. Sharp pull in of the tummy and a breath out of the nose. And I'm going to clap it out on my leg 20 times. Okay, so let's go again. Inhale in, sharp inhale of the belly. Keep going. Just focused on that exhale. Pull the tummy in each time you breathe out, and don't worry about taking an inhale. It's going to happen naturally. Start to slow it down, come to a stop. If you've done this practice before, you can definitely just go faster if you want to, but for those of you who haven't, do it a little bit of a slower pace like I'm leading you with. So let's take another big inhale in again, and a big exhale out, and then we'll inhale again, and then it'll be that pumping, focusing only on the exhale, drawing the tummy in. So let's go. Inhale and pull in. Start to slow it down and come back into a stop. Big breath in and exhale out. Now you might have noticed that your tummy really feels like it was working hard there. So this is a great toning exercise for the tummy itself. A lot of people just do that breathing practice for toning, so you can do that anytime you want to as well. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the block that I'm sitting on because I find that more comfortable. We're going to make our way down to hands and knees for a moment, and just do a few cat and cows here. So taking the chest forward and taking the gaze forward as we draw the shoulder blades back, and you should feel your elbow creases kind of coming forward there. You're shining forward there. Tops of the feet are on the mat. We're pressing away from the hands, and then we're going to tuck the belly, tuck the chin under, round through the spine. So our angry cat. Now some people call this happy cat and angry cat, and some people call this cow and then angry cat. Okay, so we rounded through. We've got 2 more of these.
And last one. And then coming back into a flat back position. Start to walk your hands back towards your knees, come into a high kneeling position, so lengthening up through the spine. So let's just raise the arms up here. So kneeling mountain pose, fingertips stretch, shoulder blades pulling down, ribs and belly button sort of drawn towards each other, knitted towards each other. Okay, we're going to start to slowly tuck the chin, curl through the top of the spine, begin to round through the mid-spine. And slowly you'll feel the buttocks rolling back slightly. Hug the belly in as you come further into the lower spine, reaching into this hare pose, bringing fingers to the mat if you can. And pull away from the fingers, get a big stretch in the back, hug the belly in, and then release. And then slowly start to pull the fingertips away from the mat, working from the lower back, hugging the tummy in. Fingers rise as we come into this mid back, and slowly we come up through the spine into upper back. So let's just do that one more time. From our kneeling mountain, the back is not arched, it's straight. We start to tuck the chin, curl through the top of the spine. We come to the mid spine. We start to come to the low spine. We bring the fingertips to the floor if we can. You might be higher or lower with your seat bones. And then engage, start to come onto the fingertips as you start to lift the hips slightly. We keep the chin tucked. We start to roll up through that low spine, mid spine, upper spine. Well done. Float the arms down, just bring the hands behind your waist. Rest them on the sacrum there, just below the waist. Draw the elbows towards each other, draw the shoulders towards each other. And this time, little baby back bend. Perhaps we start to come into baby camel. We maybe pull that belly button in nice and firm. And the hips perhaps slide forwards here. We're not rocking back through this one at all. It's through the hips, so hips stay forward, waist stays forward. Start to slowly hug the belly in, tuck the chin, gently come all the way back over to hands and knees. And let's step the right foot out behind us. And we take the left hand, reach it forward and then place it across the floor. And then perhaps lift that right leg up. So left hand is reaching across. So again, a little stretch into the side of the body, into the latissimus dorsi muscle that runs around the back, wraps around the ribs there. And lower that leg and hand back down. Bring the knee back to center. Extend your left leg away. Reach your right hand across in front of that left hand. Big stretch across the mat there to the far corner of your mat. Tip your toe away from the floor. Keep your hips level. Big stretch here. So there's a tendency to externally rotate that top leg. We don't want to do that. Lifted leg, we don't want to do that. So we're going to keep that hip down. Toe can point into the midline of the mat there. Let's bring the hands all the way back to center. And we're going to drop down onto the forearms now. So we've had a little stretch through the body. We're going to come into a forearm plank now. So you can stay on your knees if you prefer for this. Otherwise, we're stepping one foot back, then the other. So this is a strong position for the shoulders. You want the shoulders lined up over the elbows and the forearms and the palms pressing into the mat. Core is firmly lifted up. Buttocks switched on here as well. Strong legs, everything really active. So this again builds heat. So this is good for your Manipura chakra, which is at your solar plexus around that navel area. And this builds courage and confidence, inner strength, inner fire. So that helps you cope with struggles in life. So we're going to take this into a side forearm plank. So start to swivel through the feet. Start to shift the position of the elbow so that your palm is facing towards the long edge side of the mat. We come onto the side here. We can stack the feet. If you want, you can keep the bottom knee down for this. Lovely. We're going to reach the arm up and lift the hips up. Big strong pose. And then perhaps just taking one foot back behind you, can lift the hips up a little bit more and send the arm over by your ear. If this is not comfortable for your shoulders, please come down at any time. Hand comes back to the mat. foot comes back, and then we pivot back to the front again onto our forearm plank. So this is a strong bit of work, this. We're going to start to again adjust the left hand. I'm going to have my back to you for a moment. Forearm comes to face the other long side of the mat. Other hand reaches up, feet might be stacked here, or leg might be down to the floor. And then we perhaps take that other foot behind, and that enables us to just lift up and get a beautiful side stretch through our bodies here. And then exhale, hand comes down to the mat. For support, you pivot back over. You come back to your forearms, and then you drop your hips down into a Sphinx pose. Press the tops of the mat into the floor, lengthen through the spine, lift a little, draw the shoulder blades back. Find length here rather than compressing your low back in between the vertebrae there. We don't want to do the squashing of the discs. So just keep this gentle as you need to. You can always take the arms a little wider or a little further forward. Okay, from here we're going to lower the forehead down to the mat. Hands are going to interlace behind us. This can also be done if you need to. You can always bring your hands down or by your sides. Interlace there. Press pubic bone into the mat. Switch on your glutes and lift your belly button away from the mat so there's a space beneath it. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Lift the top half of your body. Now if that feels safe enough to lift the legs in your locust pose. Well done. And then gently lower down. So we work in the core muscles as well today, so around the obliques, around the front, but we also need to work the back. And so these back extensors are great for balancing that out, strengthening the back. Okay, so come back to a child's pose. Just have a quick stretch out here. One more breath. Now we're going to come into a down dog here. So we're going to do a little bit of work with down dog and pigeon, and then we'll come into some more stretches to finish off. So tuck the toes, lift the knees, come into your down dog, find your position, send your hips really well back so the weight comes away from your hands, elbow creases forward, inner arms towards the ear, and bend in the knee as much as you need to. Now have a little movement around here through the feet and the hips, pedaling through the feet as if you're walking your dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, a downward facing dog. And we're going to start to lift the right leg behind us. Bring the knee towards our nose and send that leg away behind. And we're going to bring the knee again towards the nose and send it away. And find the stretch again a little bit bigger. Maybe each time you send the leg away, you can take a big, longer stretch. Last time, knee comes to nose. We reach it away, finding space, finding length in our body. And we bring the knee down behind our right wrist. So the foot comes across the mat, and that's only going to go as far as it feels really good for your knee to do. Some people get the shin all the way parallel to the knee joint. Not for me, and not for a lot of people. We're not always built that way, so everyone is different. Now I find here a block really good. I have some tight hips sometimes, and a block underneath the pelvis there is a really great support because your buttock can rest on it a little at the front of the back thigh. So when you come down, if you've got tight hips, this just gives a little more support for you. You might like that. You don't have to use that at all. So you can come to forearms here in your pigeon pose, or you can come all the way down. Head rests on hands or on the floor. And then just check out that that back leg is sliding back away behind you and that your hips are level, so you're not tipping into that leg that is bent, into that hip there. So yeah, a few more breaths here. Enjoy this. So hip opener is great for releasing emotions, stagnant energy. The water element resides around this area, these energy centers near the reproductive organ and the kidneys. So we we can store a lot of stuff here, and you know, it's a winter, we want to reflect, we want to let go, release, ready so that we are clean, cleansed, energized when it comes to the spring, lighter days when they arrive. Let's start to walk those hands back gently, lifting up through the spine. Option here, if you want to, don't have to do this, is to reach back with the opposite hand to give yourself a little bit of a quad stretch here. And then release that. We're going to move the block away, if you're using one, and slide back up into your downward facing dog. Pedal through the feet there. And then we're going to send the left leg away, reaching up behind. Hug the belly in, press away from those hands. Scoop the belly in as your knee comes towards your nose. And then send it away. You might notice that your shoulders come above your wrists when you do this as well. Send the knee in, squish towards that nose and send it away. See how far back you can stretch. Last one, knee comes to nose. We send it away. And then the left knee comes behind that left wrist. And we're sliding the hips away along the floor. Hips are nice and level, back leg slides away. Weight wants to shift in towards the hips and not the knees. So you don't want to be feeling any pressure in your knees here. Slide it back through the hips. Find your way down. Maybe you come to forearms here. Maybe you come to rest the head on the hands. And again, you're here for about four breaths here. Nice big deep breaths in and out. Using this chance to find this big, beautiful stretch here. It's a chance for you to breathe. Maybe you haven't breathed this deeply in the whole day. And just finding a little peace for a moment before the rush and chaos of Christmas. And then gently begin to take your last breath here. And as you exhale, start to lift the hands gently back up. If you're using a block here, just slide the block away and come back into down dog. So last time we slide that foot back, we come back into a down dog, we pedal through here. So we've got one more strong pose. So just bring yourself down to your knees before we come into a few stretches to finish. So we're going to come into something called dolphin pose, Ardha Pincha Mayurasana, and I get it right. And this is on the forearms again, very strong on the shoulders, strong on the core. So give it a go. If you don't like this, you know it's not for you, then that's fine. Just come and take a child's pose. Otherwise, we come down onto the forearms. We tuck our toes, press up from the back of the forearms and the palm. Lift the knees as you would for down dog. Send your gaze towards your ankles and pressing away from the forearms, strong in the shoulders. Now, if you want a bigger stretch in your hamstrings, keep the legs away from you a little further. If you want to take this into your shoulders, just walk them in a little bit more. It brings the head closer to the floor, but you don't want to be applying a pressure through your head there. So if you're not comfortable or confident of having the head on the floor, please don't put any pressure through the head and neck. Keep the head just above the floor. And then step back a little again. And then bring the knees down. And just release your hands behind you. Come into child's pose. Let your hands rest down on the floor there. Let your shoulders rest for a moment. You feel a lot of heat and tingling maybe through those shoulder blades there. And then next breath in, start to peel up through the spine. Again, just as you did at the beginning. And then come to bring yourself onto your seat bones here. Bring your feet in front of you. And roll all the way down onto your back. So just take a moment to roll all the way down, nice and safely. Bring yourself here. Keep your left leg on the floor. And extend your right leg up. And just draw your hands behind them for a lovely hamstring stretch here. Just mobilize through the foot and through the ankle here, circling around one way, then the other. Draw the leg in a little closer and then bring it back in line with the hip. Bend the knee and bring the ankle to rest against the thigh there. Slide the hands underneath the left thigh and draw those knees towards your chest. Just take a nice couple of big breaths in here, big stretch here. Big breath in and out. And then slowly place that foot back down on the floor and cross the legs. Take it to the other side, lengthen through that leg, point and flex through the feet. Lovely stretch there. And then we'll place the left leg over the right leg and reach through underneath and just draw the knees towards you. And then gently uncross the legs, place the foot down, and then just hug both knees in towards your chest. And we'll take a last back bend here. So bring your feet down one by one, palms on the floor. Going to peel up to pin from the pelvis, peeling all the way up through the back body. Press into the hands, the back of the triceps, the forearms, the shoulders. Not pressing into the head though, just keep all the weight in the shoulders. Press through the feet, the legs. Everything else lifts high, hips high, drawn down through the abdominal muscles towards the spine. Strong there, strong legs, strong glutes, strong core. Exhale, peel back down through the spine till the last vertebrae touches the mat. Bring the knees back in one more time. And then take the hands to the outer edges of the feet or the big toes with thumb and index finger. And come into your happy baby and have a moment here rolling. And perhaps even stretching both legs, maybe it feels good, or one leg and then the other. And then gently bring the feet together, bring the knees down or feet down one by one. Take the knees over to one side. Just a little simple belly twist as the arms fall away to the side, head rolls to the other direction. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, take the knees the other way. Inhale. Back to center, and then spend a moment here in Shavasana. So just extend the legs, palms face up, let the hands just roll away from you, let the feet just roll out. Connect back with your breath, shoulder blades into the earth, back body, seat bones, back of the legs, back of the head, back of the arms. Just let everything be supported by the floor, by the earth beneath you. Just find a gentle rhythm that is rolling through your body with your breath. Just notice it, don't try to change it. Notice any sensations that come up for you, whether you feel warm in the body in different places, whether you feel more stretched, or whether there's still any tight areas to resolve. And if there is, just take a big breath in now. And send your focus and your breath to the space that needs a little relaxation, a little release of stress and tension. And then I invite you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. And I will just say thank you for joining me today. Be in peace and use this practice whenever you need it, and just enjoy. I'm going to leave you in the quiet, and I'll just say namaste to sign off. Namaste, Om Shanti, peace.